What is up, guys? This is Randomonium here with another random normal game. This is a series where I will fill whatever role my team needs me to play, and I'll play a different champion each and every game. So for this game, I was intending on playing Lucian, because Lucian is one of the only AD carries that I have not played yet. But unfortunately, Lucian was banned out, so I decided to play Tristana, because I got the Dragon Trainer skin for Tristana, and I wanted to show that off. And this game is actually going to be a really great game. I'm using the replay function for Skin Spotlight's replay. It's a great program. I highly recommend you guys check it out. But this is a really great game. It's a short game, but it's a really great game. This is actually one of the best games I think I've played as AD carry. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys learned something from this, because I feel like I did a very good job. So every time I play a game, I always have a focus, right? You can't focus on everything every game. If you try to focus on everything, then nothing is the priority. So this game, my focus was I wanted to harass the enemy ADC and the enemy support. That was my goal, was to try and practice my harassing skills. And, I wanted to keep my CS high, but my number one priority was trying to harass the ADC. So you can see how that works out in this game. But for our team, we've got a Gangplank in top lane, Poppy in the jungle, Brand mid lane. I'll be playing Tristana as AD carry, and we've got a Kayle as support. And we're going up against an Aatrox in top lane, Warwick in the jungle, Ahri mid lane, Graves AD carry, and a Tahm Kench support. So you can see already, anytime that Graves moves up to do a CS, I am trying to poke him down. That was a bit of an early flash by the Kayle. There really was no need to try and flash for that. There's no need to kind of rush that. But it did kind of make the Tahm Kench go aggressive, allowing me to get first blood. But there was no reason to flash for that type of kill. Even if you just force the Graves out of lane that early, that's going to allow you to snowball the game, because I can just push the lane really fast. Graves is going to fall probably like 15 or 20 CS behind. There's not much he's going to be able to do. So you can see, every chance I get, I'm trying to just punish him. Anytime he moves forward for a CS, I'm going to try and punish him, because I have superior range, and if I hide behind minions, that's one of the big things with Graves, is that his auto attacks hit the first thing that's in their path. So if you hide behind minions, even if he tries to auto attack you, it'll hit your minions as well. So that's a common way that you can kind of abuse the Graves if he tries to trade back with you. But you see, any chance I get, I'm trying to harass. It doesn't matter if it's the Tahm Kench, it doesn't matter if it's the Graves. I'm purely focusing on harass, and then I'm CSing when I can. Yeah. As soon as any chance provides itself, I'm going to try and harass as much as possible. As far as the rest of the lanes go, with the Gangplank versus Aatrox top lane, oh, here we go. So I was able to land my explosive charge, and Kayle with her slow allows me to pick up a pretty easy kill just by rocket jumping forward, and then once I get max charges on the explosive charge, that resets my rocket jump. So even if like the Warwick showed up right then, as long as I proc enough of those the explosive charges, that I'll reset my rocket jump, so I can use it to still escape. Anyway, back to the matchups. Gangplank versus Aatrox top lane. I feel like Aatrox in the early game probably has a slight advantage just with his sustain, and Gangplank's early sustain is not very great, or early wave clear is not very great. Gangplank in the late game is an absolute monster, so as long as the Gangplank just survives in the early game, he should outscale the Aatrox quite nicely. With mid lane, Brand versus Ahri, that's a real skill matchup. It's really dependent on whether Ahri can land her charm or Brand can land his stun. So it's really, that skill shot based matchup. Whoever can land their CC first is probably going to win the duel. And then in bot lane with the Tristana Kayle versus the Tahm Kench Graves, that matchup is, I think it favors us because the Kayle can use her slow. I have superior range, so I can kite up pretty effectively. The only way that the enemy team can really punish me is if I'm out of position. So it's really on me to make sure that I'm just not out of position, that I don't get caught in Graves' Q or his W, his smoke screen, or I don't get slowed by the Tahm Kench or devoured by the Tahm Kench. It's really, if I die in this matchup, it's my fault. So, but anyway, as far as jungle pressure is concerned, I would say that the Warwick really needs to focus bot lane because I feel like the Graves is at a huge disadvantage. He needs some help from the Warwick, and the Warwick can provide some early pressure as soon as he gets the Stalker's Blade. As far as on our side with our jungler, I feel like top lane is probably going to be the focus because Aatrox has a very good sustain. The Gangplank is probably not going to be able to outduel him early on. So if the Poppy focuses top lane to try and break the passive of Aatrox, that will slow him down a lot and make him a little bit more ambivalent about diving the Gangplank, who might be a little bit weak in the early game. Anyway, you can see any chance I get, I'm constantly trying to harass the Graves or the Gangplank, and I've already got a pretty sizable CS advantage, over 10 CS. So there's two kind of theories, like when you're CSing in a lane. The first one is that I'm just going to get the highest CS number that I can. I'm going to just go for 7, 8, 9 CS per minute, and I'm not going to try and harass. I'm just going to use my abilities just to maximize my CS, and I trust that my ability to CS is better than my opponent's ability to CS. And that's a completely valid strategy. The other strategy that a lot of people employ is they're not as concerned about their CS. Their goal is to deny CS from the enemy, from their opponent. And they believe that they can CS better under pressure than their opponent can. So they're going to be constantly trying to trade with their opponent and deal damage to their opponent and get their opponent to kind of get distracted and miss CS. And they don't mind if they miss a few CS themselves because they feel like their opponent is going to miss more CS than they will. And that's really the strategy that I'm trying to employ in this matchup. Because I have superior range, I feel like I can kind of try and abuse the Graves and force him to kind of back off and force him to miss CS. So you can see right there, I rocket jumped onto the Graves. He burned pretty much everything he had to try and escape. But because I had rocket jumped forward, that put me in a position where I could use my ult to knock the Tahm Kench back into the Kayle, which allowed us to secure the kill. And then the Graves made a very grave mistake in trying to re-engage us in a 1v2, especially with Kayle with her slow and the fact that I'm already very fed. That resulted in me getting a double kill and also taking the bot tower. So that's like a common mistake that you see a lot of times, is that like if your support dies or your jungler dies, you want to try and kind of avenge them right away. And unless the opposing team is really low health, that's usually a bad proposition because you're usually at a numbers disadvantage. So kind of try to avoid doing that unless you know you can get the kill and still escape. So you can see we're going for Dragon. That Kayle ultimate was not necessary. All she needed to do was back off. Poppy is very capable of tanking that Dragon. So that's kind of a wasted ultimate on the part of the Kayle. But, you know, not a huge mistake. Anyway, So you see that the first item that I am going towards is Infinity Edge. I've already completed my tier 2 boots because I've already dropped the tower. So because I dropped the tower, I'm looking to roam more. I want to be roaming to mid lane. I want to try and take down the mid lane tower, but I also want to have the speed to be able to rotate back to bot lane when Graves and Tom Kench push up that lane. So I'm trying to be more opportunistic. I'm trying to be more mobile, not be stagnant in a lane and just constantly trying to duel the Graves, because I've got a commanding lead, 4-0. I have a commanding CS lead as well, but all of that doesn't matter if I don't use that lead to try and impact the rest of the lanes. So you see right there, kind of a poor CS under tower from me, but good gank from Poppy allows us to get the stun and to get the kill on the Tam Kench. Another wasted ultimate from the Kale, but oh well. I mean, it's not the worst thing that could have happened. I guess it's better to waste the ultimate than to not use it at all and have your ally die. So yeah. Because we have Poppy here, I feel pretty confident in my ability to push up past River. But the Warwick's waiting. He's able to almost burst me out, and I have to rocket jump away. That flash was unnecessary. I was a little bit worried that the Graves was going to try and dash forward, possibly flash and ultimate me for the kill, which actually would have resulted in me dying. So I kind of used my flash preemptively. But I think that flash was not necessary in hindsight. So definitely that was a mistake on my part. But yeah, able to survive the gank because Kale had used her ultimate earlier. She didn't have her ultimate available to save me when the Warwick ulted me, unfortunately. But I was able to escape with my rocket jump. So because the lane is pushed up past River, I'm looking to kind of try and get some pressure in mid lane. But it looks like our Poppy is kind of caught out, so I'm positioning myself in Dragon Pit. So if they engage on the Poppy, I can rocket jump over the wall, land my explosive charge, and when I get max stacks on the explosive charge, if things get a little bit too hairy for me, I can rocket jump back over into Dragon Pit. So I find the Warwick, I wind up ulting him, and I'm able to burst him out before the RE can rotate, and then I rocket jump to safety again. So at this point, I'm pretty far ahead of every single person in the game. I don't think there's any person in the game that can solo me. So I feel pretty confident, but at the same time, I want to still continue to play conservatively and not play too aggressively and wind up giving away this lead that I've worked so hard to establish. That's a very common mistake. So I see the Poppy going in on the Graves. I kind of ignored the Tom Kench, try and get to the Graves. But, the Graves is able to escape. And then Poppy is able to find the Tom Kench, so we rotate to try and save her. She almost dies, but I just deal so much damage at this point that I don't think that there's much that they can do to stop me. So yeah, I should be close to completing Infinity Edge now. I highly recommend Infinity Edge as a first item on Tristana, just because she's very dependent upon crit and AD. I don't think it's a smart choice to go. Like there's some people do some weird builds on Tristana. Sometimes they'll go like Blade of the Rune King or something, and that's not an optimal build. You want to get that attack damage early on because she just scales really well, especially on her satchel charge. Her explosive charge and also her ultimate with the AD scaling. So So Graves is pushed up here. I know that I can solo him out, so I pretty much immediately rocket jump on him, and I'm able to instantaneously kind of burst him out. Even if he had landed that Q, it really wouldn't have mattered. The only way that he was going to get out of that is if he used his smoke screen on me. But he didn't think to do that. He kind of panicked in the heat of the moment and just kind of let me kill him. So yeah, if he had used his smoke screen and then dashed away, and he possibly could have used his Q and R ultimate, he might have gone away, but I don't think he would have been able to deal enough damage to kill me. But since the Graves is dead, I know I can push up this lane pretty safely, even if the Warwick comes to gank me. I don't think there's much that he can do to stop me. So that was a very good slow by the Kale, and then she winds up taking turret aggro, but she uses her ultimate to escape. So now we've taken both towers in bot lane, and also top lane is doing very well. We were able to take top tower as well. We really need to rotate towards mid and start breaking down those mid towers in order to kind of close out the game. But this Ahri has very good wave clear, and it's making it rather difficult for us to actually push the tower. If the Ahri lands a charm, she does have enough burst to kill me, so I have to be very careful when I'm trying to finish off this tower. Hey, you can see there, I just got hit with the charm. I got hit with her Q, and I almost died because of that. If she had actually ulted forward and used her W, she probably could have killed me, but she probably would have died as well because I had my Poppy and my Kale nearby me. So I have pretty much all the gold on my team, so I'm kind of paying my team to be careful while I'm not there. So for my second item, I decided to go Randuin's Hurricane. That is an unconventional item on Tristana, and I freely acknowledge that. Usually you would go for like rapid fire cannon or maybe a static shiv or something like that. The reason why I went Hurricane is because I'm already so far ahead that I do so much burst that I can pretty much kill anyone I want, and getting some extra crit with rapid fire cannon is not going to help me that much. I want to be able to deal damage to multiple people at the same time, so I can get those double kills and triple kills and quadra kills, which you can see just happened there. I just got a triple kill. So I would say that you should only go for Hurricane if you're really far ahead. Otherwise, you're going to need that additional crit that you get from like a static shiv or from a rapid fire cannon. But if you're really far ahead and you can kind of burst out everyone, might as well go for the Hurricane, so you can actually burst out multiple people at the same time rather than just one. You see my team is pinging Dragon. This is a common mistake that you see kind of in lower elos, is people think I can only get one objective, right? I either get mid tower or I get Dragon. I can't get both. And there's no reason for that, right? Like, we can get the inner tower in mid and we can get Dragon. And really you should be prioritizing those towers over a second or a third Dragon. That inner tower is vitally important because not only does it open up the map more, but also gives you global gold. Like, really, the second Dragon is kind of an afterthought. Nobody, who cares if you get second Dragon now or you get second Dragon 5 minutes from now? You know, I want that global gold now so I can kind of continue to snowball the lead to our advantage. So, if you get a team fight victory, try to think big, right? You know, if you only need one person to take the tower, like a Tristana can take a tower just by herself, as long as, you know, nobody's going to try and kill her immediately, then you only need one person to take that tower, and then you can have other people take other objectives. You can have other people push other lanes. There's no reason to have, you know, 5 people trying to take one tower. Warwick did a good job ulting me, but I was able to survive thanks to Kale, and then I used my ultimate to knock him away. And then the follow-up with the resets of the rocket jump allowed me to pick up a quadra kill pretty easily. Just because I'm just so far ahead at this point. Yeah, 15-0-1. There's a surrender vote right a little bit after 20 minutes. But yeah, that kind of just shows off the power of harassing your opponent. That harass in the early game allowed me to completely snowball the game out of control. Able to pick up 4 kills very early in the game. I was able to transfer that lead into the mid game, picking up towers and then picking up, you know, a triple kill and a quadra kill to close out the game. So yeah, that just shows you the power of harassing your opponent, and being effective with that, dodging their skill shots and dodging their poke as well. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about strategy when it comes to bot lane or being an AD carry. I'm definitely still learning this role, but I think I'm getting better and better with each and every game. So if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the content on the channel, please subscribe. If you feel like I could have done anything better, or if you feel like you would have done anything differently in this game, please let me know. Or if there's any champions you want me to play in the future, also leave a comment, and I'll definitely get back to you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. This is Randomonium, signing off.